guys, it's Neil Rule here with Big D Energy. Appreciate you checking out the show. Our best of show here on Labor Day to kick this thing off. I had a heated Lions debate with Joik and D-Mac as we got into it. Enjoy. Welcome back to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Joik Bell, Darren McCarty. My name is Neil Rule. Happy to have you with us. And, NFL dominating the day. NFL news, Detroit Lions news, all of it. And look, yeah, I talked about this yesterday with Terry. I'll bring it up to you guys as well. I'm running a little hot today about this whole Detroit Lions situation. Jelani Tavai cut. Joik, you and I discussed that. I mean, you despite your best efforts to take up for him, Jelani Tavai still got cut. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, he was out of there. But the thing is, I'm never going to call anyone in the NFL. I'm not going to discredit them in a whole, because at the end of the day, they are at the highest level. And even if you get drafted in the NFL in any round, then kudos to you. Right? That's a big accomplishment. Right?
No question.
I wasn't drafted in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And so to have your name called on that podium is an amazing feeling. So I'm not going to take that away from anybody. Now, understand that once you touch that field, when that's all said and done and all the hoopla is going on, it's time to perform, all that stuff goes out the window.
Absolutely.
It goes out the window.
And that's my point in talking with everybody and the 10-7 limo people and all that stuff. Next Sunday, the 49ers are here, and Nick Bosa is a problem. And they're looking to inflict damage. Yeah, and if you look at this Lions roster and what they have assembled, Joik, I feel even worse about it today than I did before. Not because of the cuts. I mean, Brashad Perriman yesterday, Jelani Tavai today, Mike Ford, Tyrell Crosby, Dan Skipper, Victor Bolden, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not because of the cuts or anything like that. It's really hitting home the lack of talent that's on this roster, Joik.
It's hitting home now.
But when you start to see it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when you have Dan Campbell up there talking about we need depth, when you use your first round pick and take Penei Sewell, and then the first words out of the coach's mouth is we need depth at the offensive line, when you're looking for receivers off the street, you're in trouble, Joik. And when that gets verbalized, yeah, I get upset about that.
Why you get upset about it?
Because it's fallen to this. And I know we have this discussion all the time.
You can't be upset. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my question, Neil, though, and I know that we've gone through it, but these guys haven't had the history of the draft. This is their first time through. It's something where it's a different regime that's trying to set culture differently. And I guess, to your point, are you disappointed because it has to be broken down to the foundation even more than you thought? You didn't think that you thought we could keep the basement, but we got to redo the basement too?
I mean, there's mold, there's black mold everywhere. I mean, the house has to be totally
at least you're addressing the black mold instead of trying to build over it like we have been in the past. So my whole point is cut your losses before, I know the history, but the history of the second rounders and losing the guys and not being able to hit. That's what Brad Holmes has been brought in for.
We had good second rounders.
Okay, you tell me the good ones, and I'll tell you the bad ones.
Amir Abdullah?
No,
he was bad.
Yeah, they don't make it through their first contract.
Yeah. You got to make it through the contract. You got to be wanted to be good. Contract. You got to be wanted to be good, man.
All right,
that's it. Darius Slay was one. There's one. There's two guys. I'll give you Jelani Tavai. Okay, keep going.
I'm not gonna give you Jelani Tavai. Well, he made it through. Okay. But let me see. But didn't Amir make it through his first contract?
It doesn't matter. No one, Joik. No one looks back and says, "Oh, the Amir Abdullah days." Name a play he made other than the fumble.
And
look, this is big boy talk.
Titus Young.
I know you talk about him in practice and stuff like that.
Great talent, didn't produce
2
on
seasons,
the field
man.
because he
produced on the field,
but he didn't.
But he got in trouble.
He didn't. But he's not here. That's great. He's a great talent, but he wasn't able. What do you say? What's the most valuable player available?
I'm gonna tell you this: you can't control what a person does off the field.
But if the off the field affects him being on the field to play, yes, it does.
It does. Yeah. And
no. You don't hear what I'm saying. I said we can't control what he does off the field.
I understand, but
as far as that pick and what he was doing on the field. He was producing on the field. Are we talking about people producing or people who had great careers?
Into the pick.
Oh, what are we talking about?
We can talk about people producing. That's fine. I'm not giving credit to a guy that has 81 catches in his career.
If doesn't get you on the field, then you don't produce.
But I played 2 years. Yeah, he caught 40 balls a year. And Joik, look, man, I feel bad for what he went through. No question about that. I do feel bad for that. My heart breaks for that. Yeah. But ... those numbers are those numbers, man. And
it's like being an injured guy.
Yeah.
All right, and then
it's
what
like
about
guys that never get on the field?
All right, what about Mikael LaShore?
What about Mikael LaShore?
Yeah. He never did anything.
Come on, now you're clowning, man. Now you're clowning. Carry-on Johnson,
Jason Hanson, and Darius Slay are the only two.
That's it.
You said who?
Jason Hanson and Darius Slay are the only two.
That's it, man. Shawn Rogers was pretty good. That's it. Tease Tabor.
You said Shawn Rogers was just pretty good.
Ashawn Robinson, Amir Abdullah, Kyle Van Noy. Darius
Slay,
Slay,
is playing well right now.
Yeah,
he's playing well right now.
Well, he wasn't good here. I don't care what he did.
No. Was it coaching? Or was it the player? Because how you go to a whole other team and having these great seasons?
Ryan Broyles, Titus Young, Mikael LaShore.
We're specifically talking here in Detroit, and the fact that you're
Jordan
saying
Dizon.
Yes, it's not about the. But what did they do
I'm saying,
here?
is it coaching or is it players?
Drew
So the past coaching, the past drafting, everything like that. What I'm saying is, when you told me yourself, you give them a 2-year window. The fact that there's more mold, there's more things. You got sold the house or whatever. That is really. You're going to have to disinfect the whole, you're going to have to do the groundwork like it had a gas station on it. You're going to have to do environmental. That's what Neil's saying. But as long as in the 2-year period with these guys and we come out ahead of it.
No, Neil said he's upset right now.
Just because it's coming to a head. It's coming to a head. That's what it is, Joy. It's coming to a head.
The past is coming to an end. This is a new future. This is a new regime.
And both things can be true, Joy.
No.
Both things can be true.
No.
This management, I give this management team here, I give Brad Holmes, based on his resume, I give it up to him, all right? It's your show. Your show. But that starts now. Like, guys, the 49ers are coming to town next Sunday. Nick Bosa is going to be here.
They're not going to win.
And he has bad intentions. But
you know the good thing, though? Their biggest weapon isn't playing. Trey Lance isn't playing. That's
your guy. But again, I'm going back to it. And you're going to listen to this, man. You're going to listen to this. Jelani Tavai, Carry-On Johnson, Tease Tabor, Ashawn Robinson. They had a couple of moments. Amir Abdullah, Kyle Van Noy, as we talked about. Darius Slay was a hit, no doubt. Ryan Broyles, Titus Young. They didn't have a second-round pick in 10. Louis Delmas, he had a moment.
He had a
moment.
Was good.
Jordan Dizon.
He had a moment. Come on, he was good.
Jordan Dizon. Drew Stanton. Ikaika Alama Francis. Daniel Bullocks. Sean Cody. Teddy Lehman. Boss Bailey.
Is that the year? What year
Come
was Kevin
on, man.
When was Kevin Jones?
Kalimba Edwards. I said Shawn Rogers was all right. Dominic Raiola had a pretty good career. Barrett Green.
Pretty good career.
Yeah.
Come on, like you want to downplay every. He had a pretty
good career.
Dom was a great career.
15 years.
Yeah, he had a good career. What do you want me to say?
I think the reason why this is happening, and Joey, correct me if I'm wrong, these were your boys. Like, these you played with. So Joy doesn't want to go in on his people.
But you know what though? But if we're talking straight numbers, I have to be legit. The best guy we've had is Darius Slay.
Yeah, no question.
No, we're talking numbers.
But this goes on and on. Jermaine Crowell and Charlie Batch and Juan Roque and Kevin Abrams.
But listen, who can you put those picks on? Who from who from that Lions regime? Anybody.
The Lions organization.
No.
Absolutely.
No, listen what I'm about to say.
That's who I put him on, Joy. The Lions organization.
Let me get. No, now you gonna listen, Neil. Now you about to listen.
Go ahead, Joy.
Who from that regime? Any one of those regimes was there. Either heading the team, the chairman of the team, the GM, the president. Or the GM.
I was going to the games. I was watching them with my dad. I was there.
I understand you was there. But that was a different team. That was different. Same ownership, but different leadership.
Yeah.
Now we got new leadership in there. We have a person that's in those meetings, that's sitting in there and still doing the best he can to understand this process, sitting in a meeting, and people are still criticizing her for just sitting in a meeting. to see the process, see what type of things they have to go through.
I don't care about any of that. Pick good players.
But you can't do that if you don't know the process.
But again,
pick good players.
But you don't know the process. How can you pick good players?
We're getting rid of. They're figuring out what they did. Is
Exactly.
they made a bad choice.
I was here. You were
what
here.
What they did, they made a bad. You could put the.
I invested my time.
You could put the Perriman, right? The Perriman decision to sign for $2 million guaranteed, right, as a bad decision. But what did they do? They cut losses right away, right? That's a decision by this regime. All the other stuff is the history of the pain that we have and the fact that it's going to take a longer. My question to you, Joy, is like a guy like Craig Reynolds, right, who came in, did everything they asked of him, whatever, and still got cut. How, like, mentally does he get another tryout because he proves that? Will he get picked up somewhere?
Yes, he'll go somewhere else. Because the thing is this. When you're out there playing, I said it before, I say it time and time again, these guys that might not make this roster, they might not have a place here. But that doesn't mean they don't have a place in the NFL, right? They might be able to go to, say, a Houston, you know. They might be able to go to, say, a Rams team. They might. When you're playing these preseason games, you're playing for 31 other teams. You're not just playing trying to make that specific team. You're trying to make every team is on the board.
Yeah.
Every team is on the board. And so the thing is, you want to make sure you have a good work ethic, right, in practice, because what happens is these coaches, they'll get released, they'll get fired, and they'll go to other teams, and they'll remember you because how you worked in practice. Because how you worked in practice, they'll know your work ethic, and they'll know your character. And so you got to think, I played on probably 6 different teams, but on multiple of those teams, I played with coaches that I had played with or who had coached me on other teams. From Buffalo, I had Curtis Marcus, who came to the Lions. When I was in Indianapolis, we had Jim Balcuda come from the coast to the Lions. When I was in New Orleans, we had Joe Lombardi come up. So we had all these guys who I played with or played for in my past. Coach Bono, a special team coach in New Orleans. So these are guys who came to Detroit who I played with, but they knew me from the preseason, or they knew me from playing on their team from the regular season, and they knew my work ethic. And so they fought for me to stay with Detroit when I had to part ways. And so, like I said, it's preseason, but at the same time, you're playing for 31 other teams. And just to go back to that regime talk, you did invest your time, right?
That's my money, my time.
You invested your time, you invested which is more important than money, is your time. And so when you invested your time, you grow an emotional attachment to the city, to the organization. And so right now, you're basing your choice and your decisions right now on what this new regime is doing based off past emotions. You can't do that. You got to let this new regime.
No, absolutely I can, Joy.
Now, how can you blame this new regime?
Absolutely I can.
Yeah, because he's speaking as his little fandom Lions fan.
Guys,
that's the Lions
told you,
fandom, not the.
Both things can be true.
Yes, they can.
I can cut Brad Holmes slack and Dan Campbell slack. I can do that. But I can also go back and look at what happened. And like Juice's Ghost here on the YouTube thread says, Joy, pick up the table and slap him with it. Pick good players. Yeah, that's all you got to do. No, pick a good player. Pick a good player. I'm not saying pick good players all the time. Pick a good player. Don't cut them 2 years after you take them in the second round.
Did you know that a streak starts with one, right? A streak starts with one.
Pick a good player.
We got good players. You don't understand.
Where, Joy? Where are there good players, man? Where?
Panay.
Zig. You're talking about the lowest graded performer in the preseason?
Let's go back. Hold on. Let's go back.
This isn't opinion from me, Joy. This is fact, man.
Let me go back. Let me go back. If we're talking about guys who play well, and let's go back just from my time with the Lions. All right. So I can't say Java Best because he was hurt. He got hurt. But I would, what could have been.
There's always a but, man.
Yeah, but what could have been? All right,
always.
2000. Who did he pick up first round? 2011.
I have it pulled up here. 2011. They did Nick Fairley.
Nick Fairley. That was a great pick. That was a good pick.
Yeah, all 4 years he was here.
Yeah, 2000. A good pick. Good pick. My bad. He was only part of one of the greatest defenses in NFL history.
But that's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is playing through the first contract.
Yeah. All right, let's go. 2012.
2012. They're for Riley Reef. That was a solid one. He's great in Denver.
2013. Zig Janssen.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Ansah.
Yeah, great in Seattle.
No, he was great here. He was good here.
Neil got one today, bro.
When he was on the field, he was never on the field.
Like a lot of these second rounders.
He was also part of that historic.
A good buddy of mine used to call him Urgent Care Ziggy.
Oh, damn.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
How many games did he miss, Joy?
He's also part of that. He's also a part of the greatest regime. Like he's also part of that great, one of the greatest defense you'll ever see in the NFL today.
Yeah.
One of the best. All right, 2014.
2000. Why don't you go back to 2010? Sue. You know, when they took Sue.
Yeah, we had Sue.
Yeah, you can do that. And that's fine. He was great. Won a Super Bowl. Not here. 2014. Eric
No. All right, no. Are we talking about what they did here?
2014. No, I'm talking about what they did here because I'm here for this.
No. You said, man, you said make one good pick.
These fans.
And I'm giving you good picks.
Here.
I can't help it. I can't help it. But they went to other places.
That's part of it, Joy.
They have part of the
Joy, what don't you get about this, man? That's part of it.
Is it coaching? Is it the players? What is it?
It's all of it. All of it. That's what it is.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
No, but let's keep rolling. 2014, Eric Ebron. That was great.
Neil
2015, Lakin Tomlinson. That's great.
No.
2016, Taylor Decker. Look,
yeah, it was good.
Okay,
yeah.
rock solid. You should hit on a first rounder, just like you did in 17. Oh, no, you took Jared Davis. That's right. This is what it is.
Hey, no one here is saying they agree with the picks that Bob Quinn made. Well, he had his own philosophy on how he wanted to do things. But now with this new regime, it's a new philosophy. And so
I give them time.
All right, and I get
both things can be true. But Joik, when I see a second rounder get cut again, get what?
Because you couldn't trade him.
Yeah, even worse. You literally couldn't get anything for him. You tried to save him on Ballin' with Bell. Go back on the YouTube channel and look Ballin' with Bell last week. He did a great job of breaking down Najee Harris. Like a good player.
It was just that particular play. Just that particular play. It wasn't all his fault, and he had great effort. So watch this. I guarantee you, another team might pick him up, and he goes there and have a little bit more success than what he had. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay, and that's fine, Joy. I'm running a little hot today, man.
No, I understand that. I understand that. You're emotional
hot,
right now.
Dude,
but you know what cool you down?
What's that, Joy?
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the best of Big D Energy here on Labor Day. Right now we have Joik Bell on the NFL roster cuts and the preseason overreactions. It's right out of the chute. Joik, we talked about this leading up to last week. That smell is in the air. Training camp, the training camp, the cuts are starting to roll in right now. The Lions cut down to 80. They'll be down to 53 at this time next Thursday. So it's getting real out there in the streets for these guys trying to make the team, Joy.
Oh, yeah, it's getting hot. Yeah, no, it's getting hot. You know what? So this is the time when you sit back and you let your work speak for you. You let your body work speak for you. You go out there day in, day out doing training camp. And then, coaches have an idea doing training camp, but they have to see it kind of translate to the game. And so, you just sit back and you wait now. It's a numbers game.
Yeah, and it is a numbers game. And speaking of numbers, I know a lot of people have their eyes. Certainly I do, as you guys know when you watch this show. Jelani Tavai is certainly somebody that did not play well on Saturday. I don't think that's speaking out of turn, D-Mac, do you?
No, it looked like, I think we were talking about it before, but definitely Pittsburgh's game plan going in with their first team it seemed like to pick on him. So I think that the proof's in the pudding, but a couple things that we're going to talk about. There's some battles in the wide receiver position, obviously the linebacker position. I don't want to dwell on the negatives. There's some positive that I saw on defense. Well, one positive in Derek Barnes. So hopefully that's something that guys work towards. But my question to you, Joink, is so this would be like the last week before the fourth preseason game because there is no fourth. So what you said, like guys want their work to speak for themselves, but what's it like sort of being that guy? Because there's still 27 guys to be cut, right down there. So is there anything special you can do, or is pretty much just what you've put on tape is what you're going to go by?
It's what you put on tape. That's all you have to go by.
No, I'm just saying, like, is there something in practice that you can do? Or is there something that, a lot of times it seems that these guys that get cut, if you get cut earlier, you might be picked up by another team quicker to get a chance.
So understand, when you go from that first preseason game to the fourth, which is no fourth, so you're going to the third one, you're not playing trying to make your team. You're playing for 31 other teams. So you want to make your team, but if you don't make your team, understand whatever you put on film is what the 31 other teams are going to see. The 31 other teams, they're not going to see you in practice.
Right.
Only the coaches here and the GM, scouts are going to see you in practice. But when you go out there, you play, you're going to play for, you're playing for 31 other teams. And so, for instance, I remember we played, my rookie year, we played the Colts. I played for Buffalo. We played the Colts in Toronto. And I had a pretty good game that game. I ended up leaving the Buffalo Bills, going to Philly. And when the Philly waived me and tried to put me on practice squad, I didn't clear waivers. And guess who picked me up? The Colts. The Colts picked me up. And so understand, when you're playing these games, understand that whatever you put on film or whatever you do to another team, they're going to remember that. Like, this guy gave us a handful. This guy gave us some trouble. And so they're going to think about that if you get waived. And another thing that teams do, that if they know they want to keep you on the team, when they know they want to cut you and then put you on their practice squad because they know your talent and they don't want other teams to see your talent, it's a little game they play where they don't play you as much. They won't play you as much because they know they want to cut you and put you on a practice squad. And if they play you and you play well, which they know, and you play well, they cut you, another team is going to pick you up off a waiver that you're not going to clear.
And that's something, Joy, probably a lot of people don't understand, myself included, until I learned this. When you look at it from exactly that standpoint where your practices, those aren't public. The game stuff is public. All the other teams can see the game stuff. The practice stuff, that's in-house, as you talked about. That's just your team. That is your stage. I mean, that preseason game, that is your stage. That's your avenue to reach those other teams, as you talked about.
Yeah, that's your only way to reach other teams. There's no other way, unless they bring you in for a workout, and unless you're, and usually during training camp, if they see you on film, when they bring you in, they're not going to make you work out because they know what you can do already. They know you've been practicing. They know that already. And so, for instance, when I left Buffalo and went to Philly, I just went to sign my contract. I didn't have to work out for the team because they knew what I can do from training camp.
Right, absolutely. We're taking your thoughts as well on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. All the comments, hundreds of comments are flying through all the time. We pick out some of the good ones. We address those. But we do got a good show lined up for you here tonight. The whole Miguel Cabrera thing, I wasn't in yesterday, neither was Joik, but it did get me to thinking about Miggy's place. Really, we thought about it, Mount Woodward. So I want to see where Miggy's place is. We'll discuss that. Also, the Little League World Series team from Taylor starting to get that feel about this team. Everyone seems to be jumping on board. They're winning games dramatically. So we'll discuss that as well. Also, too, some NFL news. And this is a good one because, look, I know that Roger Goodell is not the most popular guy out there with football fans, but I think we caught him a little bit in something, and I love that. Not only Roger Goodell, anybody. I love when people get caught saying one thing then doing another. I think we got him on that, so we'll discuss that. We'll break that down. The rookie quarterbacks, we'll check in with them. We saw yesterday Trevor Lawrence went up against the Saints, and Jameis Winston, Joey, he can still ball. I've always liked Jameis Winston. I have. I know he's a bit of a turnover factory.
That's it, but
he puts up numbers, bro. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's going to put up numbers. All right, he's going to put up numbers. And now I think that he might be on a team where a coach he can relate to that can kind of help guide him. Then not only that, but he's there with a Hall of Fame quarterback who kind of show him how to prep, for a game. And he's probably learned a lot from Drew before Drew left.
Right.
And so
I think that too. That we're hopefully that the Jameis Winston, Sean Payton situation where maybe he can, it's almost Sean Payton quarterback whisperer and what you learn because the talent is there. It's just the decision making. But hopefully that change of scenery and getting the opportunity is what we're going to have here with Jared Goff, we're hoping. So, we'll wait and see. But Jameis sure did show why he was part of the 30-30 club.
Yeah, but I think that performance against the Steelers for the Lions, as far as I'm concerned, and Darren, I know you echoed these sentiments as well, has got my threat level up for this Lions team because of the reports. And look, media guys I follow, guys that are out there covering practice for a living, it's what they do. The early discussions about Jared Goff are not promising. They're not encouraging. We discussed the whole Jelani Tavai thing. We'll get into the Brashard Perriman thing after the next break, but Darren, my DEFCON level is rising with the talent on this football team.
After Saturday's game, our boy Adam, the Sheik of the Spread, his under 5 lock is looking pretty good. I mean, you're mentioning the offense that didn't even play with what's coming out of practice. I'm just strictly looking at the defense. Are we going to be able to keep them off the ball? I said, Terry and I were talking yesterday, and I like to take the positives. Man, our punter's great. Our punter is great.
70-yard boomers, Joy.
Yeah,
Jack,
he was. He had a 66 interception. I like it. Hey.
He's nice, no doubt. No, but Joy, I mean, am I overreacting here? Am I making too much of this? Am I right on point? I mean, I'm getting very, very concerned, Joy.
You're just not getting concerned?
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about getting, Joy. I'm talking about getting like real concerned about the talent level.
I'm not concerned about it because regardless of the situation, the Lions, they have a pass this year and next year, and so
they do.
They have a pass, so I'm not concerned at all. It's what I expected. It's still preseason, so you're not going to have the best play. They're still working out some kinks, just like every other team. And even though we didn't play our best ball, we still lost by 6. And but on the field, it looks worse than that. But it definitely pulls out some holes we need to fill on the defensive side. But I expected it. I've always known it. So if you ask Art, which Art's not in today, but shout out to Art. I hope everything goes well.
Yeah,
he's out. But if you ask Art, he's still riding that 10-7 train. And then there's no way, shape, or form do you watch them play right now and say they're going 10-7. But even with that being said, I mean, they have good coaches, but coaches they're not out there on the field making plays.
And the talent level is just not there.
Right.
I mean, it is. It's just
not
there.
about wins and losses. Joy, you nailed it. And for you to say they got the passes, but we're looking for culture and more. It was the X and O's and lack of talent and execution of that talent, not the effort or the things like that. The culture. That's what we're looking to see. Do they buy in? And then we can work on the talent from there. So
before you do my bookie, I want to when we come back after that, I want to break down just every morning I have a routine. Alarm goes up at 4:20. I set on my phone every morning. 5:20 says head to the lab. So me heading to the lab is just me going to the gym. Wake up, listen to my devotional, do my meditation, get up, get ready. I head to the gym. Usually there before 6. Get there, and when I'm there, I work out with it's some old guys and older gentlemen in there, and they're big Lions fans, right? But you have one guy he's a Cowboys fan, and he said he'll never be a Lions fan because we haven't won in 60 years. And I said, well, you know what? Let me break it down to you why we haven't won, and let me tell you why we're heading in another direction now. And he's one of those old gentlemen who, he's kind of stuck in his ways. So I had to break it down to him.
Welcome back to Big D Energy here on Labor Day. Joyk and D-Mac react to Jalen Green's comments on Detroit. Don't miss this one. Look, we spent a lot of time as a show, as a network, the morning show, the bottom line, everybody, talking about this whole Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green phenomenon. And Jalen Green is turning into a WWE heel. As a Yahoo Sports exclusive came out, Chris Haynes actually had the story with Jalen Green. And Jalen made some news, especially here around these parts, where essentially Jalen Green said that he's happy he didn't end up in Detroit. I wanted to be the number 1 pick, but I didn't want to be in Detroit. And I want to get this quote exactly right, Joy, because he said, when I was in the G League bubble, I didn't really have anything to do but stay in the gym. I didn't have any time to get away from myself. The only time I had to get away for myself was in my apartment. That's what it felt like in Detroit. I wouldn't be stepping outside in Detroit. There's not many things you can do in Detroit like that. You're going to stay in the gym and go back to your apartment. Joy, this guy is he is anti-Detroit. He's a WWE heel, man.
You know what it is? I don't understand what he's talking about when he says it's nothing to do in Detroit. It's everything to do in Detroit. It just I think if you're not from here, you just don't know where to go. All right, you just don't know where to go. But it's easy. I mean, if you're playing here, it's not hard to hop in the Uber, just go walk around downtown. It's, everything from bars to lounges to restaurants to shopping to they even have a thing called bowling. Right, you can go bowling, you can do Top Golf, you can go to the swing suite at the MGM. Yeah, 3 major casinos all in downtown. You can go to Greektown. I mean, it's a lot of places you can go. You can go to the heart of the city where they have, it's a bunch of stuff you can do. I don't know what he's talking about. Like,
well, my thing about it was like, hey, bro, you're in Houston. I've been to Houston a lot. Houston's no great shakes, man.
No.
Like Houston is the same as Detroit, and I would argue it's even worse because it's so spread out. But D-Mac, like this guy's going full heel.
Has anybody said, "Hey, Jalen Green, Darren McCarty, I got 4 cups. We don't want you in Detroit. You're a clown." What it does to me is it shows even more, not only talent-wise, and you want a leader on the court and off the court, and Cade Cunningham. This was the right pick. What he says is what everybody said about Detroit for the last 60 years. He looked on Google. He's never been here. Joik Bell knows. I know that Detroit is a city to be in, and if you don't want to be one of us, that's an individual mentality. That's a guy out to get his money. That's not a guy that's in it. Detroit versus everybody. We got the right guy. The more that he talks, the more that it assures me.
we got the right
Thank
pick.
goodness we got Troy Weaver making the call because we got the greatest guy. And you know what, Neil? Just to update you, the greatest heel in professional wrestling right now is a guy by the name of Malcolm Jacob Friedman, MJF. He's in AEW, but this kid will be a heel for all time. Follow him on Twitter because he just rakes people, but he is on, and I've had the pleasure on my wrestling podcast to interview him, and this is why I like him, because that's him 99% of the time, but the true character, and I'll bust this, is he's a good dude, right? But he plays the character. But that's what this kid's doing, and he has no idea. This is the immaturity of Jalen Rose versus the maturity of Cade Cunningham, who has a daughter, who is mature, talks team, everything we said. Like I said, bottom line, nobody wants you, Jalen Green, here in Detroit, so thank you for making that apparent. Troy Weaver, thank you for choosing Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, and it's funny, too, and again, going through the YouTube thread, and everybody's talking about that, exactly what you said, in that, and they're really lighting them, as you would expect.
Well, Money said he wears Daisy Dukes.
The Jalen Green shorts right now seems to be the topic of discussion, and of course, Mr. 715 says Jalen Green can't hold Garzilla's jock, and we'll have more on Luka Garza Nation and the continued myth of Luka Garza later on the show.
I'm gonna say this because I'm not gonna say he's not talented. Jalen Green is a talented athlete, but like I want to allude to something he said in his interview. I want the Rookie of the Year. Now I want a championship. I want the Rookie of the Year. You don't see those or hear those things come out of Cade Cunningham mouth because it's more of a big team, little me mentality, and that's the type of mentality we need here. We don't need a guy that's me. And the Houston Rockets wanted a stone cold killer when it comes to getting the ball in the rim, and that's what they have in Jalen Green. But a guy that's going to help lead them to a championship, that's not what he's portraying right now.
You know what I just thought of?
What's up?
Mouse of the Palace. We just saw it, watched it. We're putting that behind. So whether Ron Artest or in basketball or who's the most hated guy, like a Claude Lemieux. Well, now you got a Jalen Green to boo. So there you go. Perfect. Because you don't want us getting on your case for dissing us because we'll shove it right back in your behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know the schedule off the top of my head, but when Houston comes to Detroit and to Little Caesars Arena, that'll be an entertaining environment to be in.
They're releasing the schedule today.
They are releasing the schedule today. So, man, that would be a good Christmas Day game.
Yeah.
Right? You saw the Pistons in there. Yeah.
Does the NBA work like that? Like as far as like the NFL does with the flex games where they can do it? Would they look at the schedule? Do you think they do? Do you think Adam Silver is about the matchups? Do you think it would be a rookie? Because it's the Lakers on Christmas. It's always used to be the Kobe or Jordan or whatever.
Yeah, the Warriors would be on.
Right, but do you think because of the first and second pick that the league or Adam Silver, it'd be it's interesting to see if they're cognizant of all this going on and it plays into it.
If it were Commissioner Neil Rule, yes. It's definitely going to be Rockets
Still
Pistons.
got a few, bro. I'm trying to
3
get you
o'clock.
the broadcasting job. We can't go to commissioner. We got to baby step our way there.
Yeah, no, I get that, but if they're smart, they'll do that because you look at that, you look at the ratings that it pulls on Christmas Day. Certainly, that would be something that I think the nation would tune into because of the 1v2 angle, and then everybody here, given the Detroit-Houston thing and what Jalen Green's become, that is certainly something they should do. What you got, Fish? Fish is in the bowl, by the way.
So 3 p.m. they're going to announce all televised games. So they're just going to do the ESPN, TNT, ABC games for the opening week, and then the Christmas Day games will be out. So today at 3 o'clock we'll find out, maybe just one game of the Pistons, but we'll see if they put them on Christmas, which I don't think they will. I just don't think they will. The 10:30 is probably going to be Nuggets Jazz because they seem to love to put them on. 8 o'clock will probably be the Lakers because they love to put them on. They might go Lakers Celtics maybe, or
I could see a
Bucks.
Pistons Rockets at 12:30.
Okay.
To kick the thing off on Christmas Day.
But 12 o'clock, they like to put the Knicks on.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
So 2:30 or 5 is open.
Yeah, so there you go. But it'll be interesting to see. I'll certainly keep an eye on that, and we'll see how that shakes out. But, Joy, I know.
They coming in hot in the YouTube comments. And I want to allude to kind of what D-Mac said about you don't want to piss off people here in Detroit. And you look at 313 Lock said, I just don't think the Detroit Pistons fans are people you want to piss off. Laugh out loud. I don't think so either.
It is pretty humorous. If you're watching on YouTube, look over at that comment section. People are in rare form. I knew I could count on them. They're coming through.
They said big H energy, H for hoe.
It's getting real in there, Joy.
But you know what it was though, because he didn't make it. He made it personal, right?
Right.
He made it personal when he didn't say, I didn't like the Pistons organization. He said he didn't like the city of Detroit. Like, you don't say those type of things, right? You don't say those type of things when you're in a professional sport because you never know what can happen, especially like in the NFL. Like in the NFL, you never know. Like, you never know when you're going to end up. I was in 4 different cities in 1 year, from Buffalo to Philly, to Indianapolis, to New Orleans, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like New Orleans. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like Indianapolis. Even if I don't like the cities, I'm not going to say it.
Right.
Like even if you really do feel that way, you don't say that.
Right. And that's really the thing, and this is a conversation that we're going to continue because this is a good theme that's going on right now. The athletes that are sticking their proverbial foot in their mouth. Patrick Beverley's in the news. We're going to touch on that in just a couple of minutes. But I do want to continue this whole discussion. So that
they say he'll put sugar in his grits. They said Jalen Green looks like a guy who doesn't put sugar in his grits.
Jalen Green uses women's Dove deodorant for his sensitivity.
Yeah, so we're just we're having a couple laughs and things like that. But
Rye.
I did want to internalize it though, because D-Mac, you saw this certainly in your career with big-time dudes that came in here that were at the top of their game. You saw it with Chris Chelios. You saw it with Brett Hall, all those kinds of guys. And Joik, you too, with Calvin.
Said Jalen uses awesome. Summer Eve.
You guys are on fire.
I don't know if you got – we have to take some time to the YouTube. But somebody said that Jalen Green uses Summer Eve. That's hilarious. But people don't know what Summer Eve is. Go look up what Summer Eve is. It's hilarious.
But
of course he is. He's a douche.
Oh god.
But D-Mac, you've seen this, and Joik, you've been around big time dudes too with Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson. But D-Mac, I'll start with you in that you saw a Brett Hall who was at the top of the game come in here and really warm up to the area. You saw Chris Chelios, who's a hated enemy, really warm up to the area. What is it about Detroit that takes these guys? Once you're here, you love it.
It clicked into me listening to Calvin Johnson at his speech. It doesn't matter what organization. It's the fans. It's the people. It's the community. And you look at a guy like Chris Chelios, and trust me, he used to chase him around the ice because he tried to kill Sergey. So he'd probably try to kill Roenick. But the fact that when Chelly comes here, because it's the mentality of the athlete and the person that engulfs himself in the city, he did the same thing in his hometown Chicago, and he did it here to the same people. That's why he's embraced. The one athlete that can be loved in both Detroit and Chicago. And but it's the people, it's the fans, it's the way you're treated, and it's the guys that know, right? Where a Brett Hall you mentioned that comes in to win a championship, but he knows what he has to do. But also too, the mentality is you're going to go out and you're going to work and you're going to do it. So you give us what we give you back. People sense it. There's no BS. It's all about the effort and stuff like that. So then the talent comes, but it's the fans, it's the people, and it's the communities. Right, it's the communities that we settle in and are accepted as outsiders from day one, and that's why, more than not just the Red Wings guys, but people that played in the league and we played against or whatever, still live in this area. There's so many ex-NHL guys, and I think it's because of the people.
Yeah, and Joy too. I mean, Calvin is one that comes to mind with me. I mean, this is a high level Hall of Famer, hundreds of millions of dollars that he's made during his career. He's here all the time, man. He's been staying here.
Yeah, he's been staying here. I think it was more so him coming here, starting his career. And there's not too many athletes who can play almost a decade in this league for the same team, same franchise. So over those years, for sure, he grew a attachment to the city. The fans love him here. I mean, this is the type of guy. He's not going to brag. He's not going to boast. And it was kind of funny that's kind of his mentality. But I remember playing with him. We were playing Seattle, and this is when they had Richard Sherman. And this one, Twitter was really big for the athletes. We'll go on Twitter, talk junk. And so the week we're about to play Seattle, Richard Sherman puts up Optimus Prime as his profile pic, because he has to hold Calvin that week. And so the media goes to Calvin and says, "Hey, Calvin, did you see Richard Sherman change his profile picture to Optimus Prime?" And he goes to the media. I mean, just with a straight face. I mean, that's his Twitter. I mean, if that's what he wants to do. I mean, he can do that. That's his Twitter. I don't know what you want me to say. And that's he doesn't buy into none of that. And he strictly has that Detroit mentality of, I'm not gonna do too much talking. Let's just go work. And that's kind of why the city is, kind of took to him, and that's kind of why he took to the city, because that's just who he is, and he has that blue collar no matter. And it's funny that it's not too often where your highest paid player is your hardest worker. And I remember we have conditioning drills, and he's 100% every single sprint. And with that long stride, it's hard to kind of it's hard to stay with him. So you got to go 110% to beat him. And so I remember his work ethic was so crazy that we had to take turns on, somebody had to beat him every time. So, all right, this time you beat him, I'll beat him next time, and then you beat him next time. And that's how hard but that's why the city loves him so much, because you can see the type of work he's put in by his play, not by what he's saying, but by his play on the field.
Tell me once and show me twice, Joink, and I think I can look across this table at you, and you're exactly like me. Is we're gonna tell you, and then we're gonna back it up, and we're gonna do you. If I tell you I'm gonna light you up through that hole right there, you best be knowing you stepped through here. And I ain't gonna give it to you.
No, he's a better man than me, because when we're out there on the field, like, I'm not gonna talk too much, like on social media. I'm not going to do that. Right. But during the game, and I'm not going to talk to you first. But if you say something, then you got to feel like we're going to have some words, and then we're going to talk, and then we just got to see each other out in the hole or somewhere throughout the game. We're going to see each other. But it's just what it was. And it was fun for me. I liked the hackling back and forth a little bit. I was always for it.
Yeah.
I was always for it.
I was too.
Yeah. D-Mac was always for it.
Always. But you're right, Drake. I'm not a starter, right? If you wanted to let the game sleep and you played nice and you didn't want, we could have that game. But the minute something pops off, you want to use your mouth, or, you're going to take an exception.
A cheap shot.
Then it's on. It's on, right? That's why I sat right next to the other team's bench, right? You could chirp guys on the way off, or you can hold accountable. You could set up whatever you wanted, or you could ease the tension at a lot of times, when... Like, sometimes when the high flying guys are your first or second line guys, they get upset, right? And they start sticking each other or something like that. And you want to quell that down, so you growl at somebody and everybody looks, and then it might keep some peace in the game. Other times, boom, crap pops off.
And speaking of talking, that's really an ongoing theme here, especially as we open Big D Energy today, because Patrick Beverly was in the news, and I want to wrap this around to these two guys, because D-Mac brought this one up, and he wanted.
That's a good one. Hey, I'm sorry. They said Jalen Green wears lace fronts.
Yeah, and this is something that's going to continue.
We're going to continue. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Yeah. As I see him, you hear me laughing.
Sticks and look seeds. Over. Poor guy.
No, and we'll keep that going throughout the show. Every now and then I'll revisit that, and we'll get the good ones that you have. Certainly, I'll bring up all the Jalen Green comps and everything like that. Back here with Big D Energy on Labor Day, our best of episode. This one, Joik Bell on Don Muhlbach getting cut. Well, the Detroit Lions were in the news yesterday. Don Muhlbach, the long snapper, was let go by the Detroit Lions. And they put out a tweet yesterday and just numbers that I hadn't even realized. I mean, second in franchise history in seasons played, games played. And
second in NFL history of a long snapper.
Absolutely. I mean, just some incredible numbers. A 3-time Pro Bowler as well. Probably my favorite stat about him. 2,347 kicks by the Detroit Lions in his time. One of those were blocked. I mean, that is an absolutely incredible number. And to put that in perspective, during that time in the NFL, 434 kicks were blocked. And the Lions only had one block. So certainly hats off to Don Muhlbach for a great career. And he is one of the all-time greats. But Joik, when I saw this move by the Lions, to me, I really had to give a lot of credit to Dan Campbell, to Brad Holmes, because Joik, damn it, this was the kind of thing. And Dan Campbell said, he qualified it. He said, I hate this. I hate that this had to happen, but it was time. These are the types of moves that we haven't seen the Detroit Lions make. At least during my fandom time, during my lifetime, this was uncomfortable. This was unpleasant, but they said it was time, and they made the judgment, and they did it.
They did.
And I know you're caught in the middle there because you played with him. You know how great he was and everything like that.
Literally the last standing player from my era. If you look on my IG, I posted a picture of Muhlbach. Literally the last standing player from my time with the Lions. He is now gone. A true OG. Good luck, Mule. Definitely was the OG in the locker. He was the OG when I was there. I remember we'll have conversations, and we'll even have snapping competitions, right? Because
everyone on the squad thinks they can long snap.
Everyone
right?
think they can long snap, right? And so he was giving me tips on how to long snap. When I first got there, in the rule of thumb is the more you can do, right? The more you can do, the longer you stick around the NFL. And so we'll have our times where we'll line up 10 yards from one another, and we'll even people don't know this about me. Mule has a cannon for an arm. Wow. I mean, he has a cannon. When I say a cannon, I mean, if Stafford's throwing at 75, Mule might be throwing at 70.
Wow.
Down the field. People don't understand how good his arm is. And so we'll sit there and we'll have
don't tell him that, Jordan. They'll be like, why do we put Muhlbach in a few times?
No, he doesn't move like a quarterback. But shout out to Mule, man. And just a great guy to have in the locker room, full of wisdom, full of knowledge. I know they don't have as many meetings as the rest of the team, so it'll be funny to walk in after a meeting and see the guys sitting down playing euchre or playing tunk or playing whatever game they play, poker, whatever, in the locker room. And so it was always good to see Mule. He kept the energy. He kept the energy in the locker room alive, kept it positive, and just a great guy to have on the team. Man, shout out to Mule, man. Everything that you're going to get, you're definitely a Hall of Fame, and here in Detroit. And hopefully, good luck to you with whatever you decide to do next. I know you're going to be successful in whatever you decide to do.
The only thing that sucks is his 40th birthday.
Yeah, and Jenna Newman brought that up on the YouTube thread and said it sucks that it happened on his 40th birthday. But to me, I'm going to sound cold.
I'm not going to say that. But I'm happy. I'm not happy that they let him go because it was time. But I'm happy on his birthday he was able to start a new chapter.
Yeah, that's true too.
You can always look at, and with Mule, he's a half full type of guy. The glass is half full type of guy. And so he gets to go out there. I don't know if he's going to continue to play, if he's going to retire, but he's definitely a guy who, even if he's out there, a certain amount of snaps. He's great to have in the locker room with the young guys.
And that's great, and certainly, you know, a tremendous career, and I'm glad to see him get his due. But the fact, Jenna, that it did happen on his 40th birthday, I think it reinforces it to me, though. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, this regime is not in your feelings. You know, it's business time out here, and that
business.
Joy, that gives me energy, man. Yeah. And D-Mac, you know, you were a pro athlete. The day comes for everyone. Joy, the day comes for you. That day is coming for everyone. Aaron Rodgers, everybody across the board.
Father Time always wins.
It's undefeated, man. Time is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
There's only a few people I know that's beating Father Time right now.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's beating him. LeBron James beating him.
Arturo from Flint Town, he's beating him. Yeah,
that's right.
There's a few players. There's a few players out there. Carmelo Anthony.
Which we'll discuss later. That's a great segue. We'll talk about Carmelo. He's in the news a little bit. But D-Mac,
you like that?
Yeah.
Look how
you like that, don't you?
Yeah. But D-Mac, I mean, you know, you brought that up too. I mean, you had that conversation. You know, it happened to you.
That's the whole thing, right? Exactly. It happened to me during the lockout, and not sort of the retirement, leaving and going after when I got bought out after the salary cap came in. That was harder. Saying goodbye, the body was beat down. But again, like you said, if the mule, Don Muehlbach, is a glass half full, he's got a lot of opportunities and a positive guy. So I like the way Joy spun it, and it's the fact that it starts a new chapter. Because, you know, here's the thing. It wasn't this. They didn't get the Marc-Andre Fleury Vegas to Chicago treatment, find out on the internet. They had a conversation, and I'm sure it was great. And the one thing about Don Muehlbach, always went the team first, right? Doing that role. So I'm sure him and Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes had a great conversation. And who knows? Maybe you'll see him in the organization doing something. You never, if that's what he wants, or if he's continue playing. But what a great career. And yes, 2,387 snaps, 1 block. That's crazy.
No, it is. And Harrison Metzler on the YouTube thread right now says, yeah, the old Ford was about hanging out with your friends. The new Ford wants to produce a winner. But, I mean, Joy, do you feel that, though? And you and I have talked a lot about this Lions organization, where they stand right now. Is this a turning point for this organization? Because maybe I'm overselling it. I don't know. But I honestly do believe that this signifies there's a new sheriff in town. It's a new day.
Yeah, you know what? But the thing is, everything you're saying is true, but I don't think they're coming in with that mentality as far as how they're conducting.
No, they're
business.
not. They're not looking to reaper you.
Yeah. But what they're coming in, I'm pretty sure when they brought Mule in, they sat down in the office,
did it the right way.
And did it the right way. Let them know, like, listen, Mule, it's been a great run. I think we're going to take a different direction. We respect everything you've done for this franchise. We want to make sure we do this the right way. I'm pretty sure this is how this conversation went, because just my conversations with the front office, with Brad Holmes and the people there at that organization, this is how I feel they would have conducted business with them. And the funny thing is, before they made this cut, I was literally talking to one of the players now about Muehlbach, and talking about how he's the last OG standing. All right, and then just a couple days after that conversation, they let him go. They released him. And I'm like, wow, no, there's no more players from that era when I was there.
You starting to feel old, Joy?
You know what?
For the first time in your life, you starting to feel old?
It's not that I feel old. I just feel like everything I knew there, that was like one of the last pieces that was still there.
So you feel like officially washed away now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if that's the right term or not, but you're starting to feel that way. Like it has moved on.
It has moved on from that era where we were making some noise, right? And the only bright spots that we have there, that was there when I was there, I think, is a couple of the coaches coached me when I played on different teams. And so that still makes me kind of feel like I still have that attachment too.
There's some connection there.
Yeah, there's still a connection there. And so
getting old sucks, Joy, trust me.
Man.
Just
that's not me. I mean, I have no gray hairs in this beard. I don't dye it, so
not yet, Joy. Not yet.
No, it's gonna be a while.
That's a bold statement. No, but again, though, shout out to Dom Muhlbach. He did. He had a great career. But, I'm of that opinion. I like the move as far as what it signifies and the way that they did it. And look, man, it's about business. It's about business, about making this team better.
I want to revert back real quick. You want me to be old so bad. Neil want me to be old so bad. I'm not. That's you. I'm not old. Trust me, everything worked. Everything.
Wait, everything, Joik?
Big D Energy. We got to go to break. Woodward Sports.
Guys, welcome back to Big D Energy here on Labor Day, our best of show. This is a really good segment here. Joik and Darren McCarty on what really matters in the preseason.
Join the elite club versus, a preseason game. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything.
Until it does.
No, it doesn't mean. No, so, the preseason games, they don't mean anything. Oh, I'm sorry. They don't count.
They don't count. I think that's a better way to put it.
Yeah, they don't count, but they mean a lot.
But they mean a lot.
Yeah,
and that's fair.
That's the best, and that's the best way to put it. They don't count, but they mean a lot. And so I'll be going in and out.
Can you make the team in a preseason game or lose your job in a preseason game?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
you can. The fringe guys, is that what they're looking for right now more so than anything?
Yeah, so like we used the term the other day, they're gonna give you the rope. So either you're gonna throw it to the wolves or you're gonna hang yourself. So it's they're gonna put the game in your hand, and it's for the guys that's kind of on that breaking point. Like, we don't really know yet. Let's put them out there, put them in the fire, and see what happens. And so preseason is a great opportunity to be able to go out there and see that. So,
is it also a showcase, like, for other teams? Like, are other teams looking for, like, free, like, if guy gets cut here and then maybe signs on for another team or for opportunity, or?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it comes back to the eye in the sky, Joik, that you talked about, because that everything you do is on record right now.
Everything you're doing is on record. But for the most part, these are the opportunities that you get, because now you used to get 4. Now you're only getting 3. So your room for error is already short. It just got chopped down by a quarter. So it's going to be an opportunity for you to go out there and make a name for yourself, but it's also going to be an opportunity for you to go out there and lose your job. Which one is it going to be?
No doubt about it.
Which one is it going to be?
There's some big things popping here tonight. There is no question. We'll get into the Miguel Cabrera thing, that 500 watch that's coming up at Comerica Park. Those seats are going for a premium out there in right field. I was checking the secondary markets on my way in.
What's priority for you?
For tonight, it will be we'll probably do the Lions game, but we'll keep an eye on what's going on, and when Miguel's coming up to bat, we'll slide over. So I think that's going to be the play, but I also will keep close tabs on Cade Cunningham and what's going on with the Pistons. We're going to need some fresh batteries in the remote. That's going to be the main thing that we have to do. We got to get some fresh batteries in the remote. You guys are firing up the comments as well over on the YouTube stream. And Joik, you're getting you're getting called a diva, man. Motown Breakdown. Joik's being a diva this morning with the AC. LOL.
I would be that.
That came from Fish in the no. Motown Breakdown said that. He's calling you a diva.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, turn the air on.
Yeah, he looked cold into the camera with it, dude. But I did want to start. I did want to start with the Detroit Lions thing. And look,
Jenna, pick a side. Jenna, pick a side. Don't do that. Pick a side, Jenna. Because you wasn't saying that when Sean was here. So don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that.
But we are going to start with the whole Detroit Lions breakdown. And Joik, you touched on it a little bit. But the starters, Dan Campbell came out and said, look for them to play about a quarter. And help me, Joik, as a guy that hasn't been on that field, as a guy that hasn't been in that locker room. Overreaction is king, and we're going to get unjustified overreactions come Monday when we break down the game and what happened and all those kind of stuff. For Jared Goff, for the first team offense, from Penei Sewell, for everybody, I think people need to understand. Give me a percentage of the playbook that you're running in this first preseason game. And while everyone's going to come and look and see what Jared Goff is doing, what percentage throttle are you going with as far as your offensive game plan goes in preseason game number 1? Help me understand.
I'm gonna tell you right now. So when you go into these preseasons, you're gonna have a playbook back when we had the paper playbooks about this big.
So basically a telephone book.
Yeah. So, but when you game plan, that playbook goes from here down to about right here with a specific amount of plays. Now we have surfaces, right? And so they send you your plays or your playbook or your game plan on that now. So for preseason, anything goes. They can call any play within that playbook. You got to know it. Now, when the season starts, they'll break it down. But for preseason, you're gonna, anything goes. They can call anything. So, and then the thing is, you go through this whole playbook. You're not gonna use a majority of it. But when the season gets started, it might be week 8, it might be week 9. They're gonna go back. They're gonna go back to training camp day and say, listen, you guys know this play. We went over it, and now we want to run it. We're gonna practice it this week. We're going to add this into the game plan, but you guys already know this play. And so that's kind of how it works. But during the preseason, they can call anything.
Is the emphasis on stuff you don't do well or stuff you want to do better as an organization? Will a coach look at it, the practice film and training camp, and say, we're not doing this well enough? Will they put an emphasis on that? Is it something where you want to do what you do well to give the guys confidence? How's that balance work?
I think it's a little bit of both. Putting guys in situations that they know they kind of struggle with throughout the preseason, throughout the off season as well, with OTAs and mini camps. So they'll go through all of those things, and they're going to put you in a position to where they're going to get you ready for that for the opportunity. But it's not like they're just going to throw you in the fire without preparing you. All right, and so I tell everyone, like, the NFL is about P's and O's, preparation and opportunity. They're going to prepare you. It's going to be up to you to decide what you want to do when that opportunity presents itself. Are you going to take advantage of it, or are you going to shit the pot? So
I got a question, Joint. How many times, because a lot of the times, and I'm thinking as an athlete, but you're talking about a playbook like this and studying all these plays and stuff.
Yeah.
How many times is a guy good enough physically to do it, but just isn't there mentally, that we don't see? We see physical as fans, right? Where that guy can't run, he can't cover. But is it happen that guys can't concept like the playbook, that might have the talent but just, can't process?
Yeah, they won't last.
And that's it, right? Like
no
matter how talented you are,
it doesn't matter.
So you got to be smart too.
It doesn't matter. And then, but like at the same time, depending on your talent, will decipher, or your around you were drafted, your draft status will decipher whether you get 1 chance, 2 chance, or 3.
Okay.
Using the league, they can tell you one time you can make one mistake, but you don't make that same mistake twice. If you do, depending on who you are and what you mean to the franchise, that can be a way out the door.
Absolutely. No, that's a great point.
Right.
As far as players to watch, and I'm curious to get all of your input as well, as the fans. And look, that's something that everybody, who's the players to watch and all that kind of stuff. And everyone says, hey, I want to check out that backup quarterback situation. What's Tim Boyle? What's David Blau going to do? For me, I don't care about the backup quarterback situation, because, Joik, if you're playing with a backup quarterback, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people put a lot of energy into that. I've never understood that, because if you're playing with a backup quarterback, it's like Drake says, OVA. It's over.
No, it's not. You talking about like if you're out there in preseason playing with a backup quarterback?
No. I'm talking about when you're in a season, if you're rolling through and you have, Matt Stafford, you have Jared Goff, you have Aaron Rodgers, those types of things. I mean, just based on what you said, when you played the Packers before, you play Aaron Rodgers, you lose. They don't have Aaron Rodgers, you beat them 48-10. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, in general, there's been spots, Joy, save me all that shit, all right? There's been spots, I understand that, but the general rule is if you're with your backup quarterback.
Rule. But I remember one year we had we had Hill as a quarterback.
Sean Hill?
You remember Sean Hill?
Yeah.
So we had Hill, and Stepper went down, and Hill came in, and we didn't miss a beat. And we didn't miss a beat. But every team doesn't have that. But at the same time, every team doesn't have an Aaron Rodgers, and so I can't compare Aaron Rodgers to the other teams, the other team top quarterback, their second string quarterback was nowhere near the athlete or playmaker as Aaron Rodgers. Which Sean Hill went out there and he was a monster. I mean, I actually like playing with him. Even our third string in the preseason, we made magic. Kellen Moore. every preseason that we had when I first got to the Lions, me and him would make magic every single preseason. And so it just depends on your camaraderie and kind of your chemistry with your QB.
Neil Rule back with you. Big D Energy, our best of show here on Labor Day. Thanks for checking us out on your holiday. Joique Bell about to react to DeAndre Swift's groin injury. Speaking of sweats, though, there's some sweat coming from Lions training camp as well. DeAndre Swift, the groin issue is popping up again. And, you hate to see that because it's something that's happened in the past, Terry. But, again, we talk about these preseason games and stuff like that. Going back to that for just a second, what do I want to see out of a preseason game? Health. That's all I care about, man. Just be healthy because we're starting to see a lot of knocks.
Yeah, but it's a very slippery slope, and it's very difficult. Football is, as we all know, is a physical sport. Even just during practice, I mean, they be thumping each other. So you can't totally shut it down. You gotta, one of the problems in football now is they don't tackle as much as they used to in practice. So we see slippage in tackles, we see slippages in games and stuff. So you still gotta be somewhat live. And you just got to keep your fingers crossed. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. But sometimes I told the story about James Jones, who was a Lions running back. He was going to be the starter one year, and the coaches decided we're going to run you 8 times in the first quarter. And guess what? He got injured. That was totally unnecessary. You knew what the man could do. You didn't have to run him 8 times. You weren't trying to win a game. So you can't be stupid, but you have to still let these dudes play.
Yeah, you don't do that with your franchise. You do that with the 4th season game with a guy that's fighting to make the team. When I was in Buffalo, we talked about what you expect in our Buffalo game. So I was in Buffalo. We were playing the Colts in Toronto. In that last preseason game, they ran me about 6 to 8 times in a row. Now, we capped it off with a touchdown at the end, but I was gassed. But you do that to test the conditioning of your running back. And so I remember we were in Buffalo years down the road, and we had a guy named Stephen Miller. And he ran about a 30-yard run, but he ran probably about 70 yards on this one play. Ran this way, cut back field, ran straight down the field, cut up, ran up for like another 30, breaking tackle, spinning, and he was gassed. So he was running back to the huddle. He was looking to the sideline. I got to take a breather. But by that time, they had pulled Reggie from the game. They had pulled me. They had pulled, I think, Mikel Ashore, and they had told Theo to take the tape off his ankles. So it was no sub for him. So he had to stay in the game, and he was tired because like the second or third run, when he got to the offensive line, he just fell down.
Went down real easy.
He went down easy, but you do that with type of guys like that that's trying to make the team. It also gives them the opportunity. And also, what they're trying to do is they're going to give you the rope, and what I mean by that is when I was in New Orleans in preseason, I was talking to a good friend who actually worked for the team. He told me, listen, they're gonna give you the rope. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, they're gonna let you hang yourself. So you're either gonna throw the rope away or you're gonna choke.
Well, and pro teams do that all the time. In all the sports, right. Because they a lot of times problems take care of themselves. That's a great line that I like to use. Problems take care of themselves, and pro teams, they employ that strategy, man.
Yeah, they do. And so I was able to capitalize on the opportunity, and even with that running back at the time who had those 8 carries, he actually did pretty well, considering that he had just ran 80 yards and was in there. So he stuck it out. Stuck it out. But that's the name of the game. And I remember last year, one thing that I actually agreed on with Matt Patricia, he said if a guy comes out here and he has some type of pulled muscle, he's selfish. He's not hydrating enough. He's not doing the necessary stretching he needs to do. And when you have like a low body percent as far as body fat, you have to drink more water. You have to do more stretching. Right. You have to do more stretching. And so whenever you have a pulled muscle, he will call you selfish. When I played, I never had a pulled muscle. I'll say that much. I've never had a pulled muscle when I played. And it just, just lucky for me. Is it luck, or did I prep myself to be prepared for opportunities?
Both things are probably true.
Yeah, both things are probably true. So if it was something like a torn ACL, a meniscus, something like that, then you can't control those. But pulled muscles, pulled groins, you can control those things. And so when you become, I know he's a young player, but even with that being said, you have to make sure you're available. That's the best thing you can do for your team is be available.
Got to play. You got to play to be good.
Right.
Terry, are you concerned? Because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm concerned because DeAndre Swift's a player. I mean, you saw highlights of him in college. I mean, just the cuts he's able to do. He's a player. I look at him as part of the cornerstone of what they're trying. You talk about the 10-7 limo.
Yeah,
he's installing the bar in that.
Yeah,
thing.
when they get good, he will be Swift does something that other running backs can't do. He just disappears. He runs, and you say, "Oh, his brother's running here," and all of a sudden he's there. And I said, "Damn, he just disappeared off the screen. He just went here and then bam, did a cutback, and you're totally caught off guard." And he cuts outside the camera angle sometimes. That's very difficult to do.
I'm gonna go back to this highlight real quick. 'Cause I want to highlight something real quick, and this might be the play that I break down tomorrow, Kennedy. So make sure we pay attention to this play. Run this back real quick. And so it started from the beginning because you just from the beginning of the play. And so on this particular play right here, as a good screen runner, what he does is right here when it's a blitz coming off the edge, usually you go down to the offensive line, you get lost, and then you bubble back out, you break out to the outside with your line. But whenever you have a blitz coming, you have to go stop that blitz feet, which he does. He slows his feet down, and then he kind of slips them, gets around them, and it gives Stafford just that inch or that split moment to get the ball over the top.
Because you just need a chip, some kind of interference,
you just need to
throw
stop
the timing off.
You just need to. If you look at him, he approaches him. If you look, run it back one more time. If you look at him, he stops his feet when he's coming off the edge. He gets him to stutter step. So when it goes back, you'll see it. He does a great job of over field breaking tackles, getting up the field, which we're going to need. So if you look, he makes him stop his feet, gets it over the top. And he's able to outrun our linebacker who has him in man. He over pursued, he tried to undercut it, and he got beat. And so these are things we're going to need this year in order for us to have these things happen and for us to see you make these type of plays, Swift. You have to be available.
Well, and that's my thing too. Is when you see a play like that with what he brings, that is elite. That's game breaking. That's Joik. Look. NFL football seems to be about getting the running back on the linebacker, right? I mean, that's
you want to get him out with it. That's what you want to do, and that's the whole point of it.
Because he's dynamic. He can run away. Yeah. That's not usual. You know what I'm saying? Like he provides something that not a lot of people can do, and that's why I'm concerned about this. Because again, it's bout number 2 with it that we saw last year. I'm not, I'm not DEFCON 5 or anything like that. Yeah. But with that being said, they will need him. If you talk about a 10-7 limo, if Terry Foster is gonna put the hat on and drive the 10-7 limo, DeAndre.
No, that's a jalopy, brother. I'm not getting on that.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm not concerned.
Okay.
You know why I'm not concerned?
I'll defer to you, Joy.
You know why I'm not concerned? Because this is next man league. This is a next man's league.
I know, but Joy, the next man doesn't have what we just saw.
Hey, how do you know that? Have you seen our draft pick play? Have you seen him play?
Well, we're going to get a look at that in the preseason, right?
Right. So we don't know what we have yet. Did the Buffalo Bills know when they had me on the team? No, I had to play. Sure. Right. And so similar to what just happened, Swift has a severe. I don't know if he's going to play this first game or not. Probably not.
I hope not.
It's going to give this young back an opportunity to go out there and show what he can do. Because him being down is just going to give this young guy more opportunity.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, if Swift plays the first preseason game, the whole coaching staff needs to be fired. Like, honestly, why are we not saving what we have right now? Swift is one of the best on the team, if not the best. And we're going to play. We do not need to play him in preseason at all. Play him in the last game, in the last quarter, and be like, okay, you're ready to go, and then test him in the real game.
Oh, you know what's funny? I sat out the entire preseason after I had my Achilles surgery. They brought me back. 3 days before the first. 3 or 4 days before the first game of the season. I was not ready. You cannot sit this man out the entire preseason. He has to be able to get some type of action so he can get used to the
He already has an injury.
You said what?
He already has it. We're going to injure him even more?
Well, Terry,
No.
that's the balance that you talked about.
But this is what I'm saying. This is going to give this young back Jefferson the opportunity to go out there and play.
Right, so then sit him.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, this is how I got my opportunity. Because players were down, and I was able to get more carries in other teams. So you're not playing for your team.
Right.
You're playing for 31 other teams when you're out there on the field. So whatever they see you do, and that's the nature of this business, right? You know, this is the nature of this business, which luckily for Jamar Jefferson, he was able to come into a situation where he'll have an opportunity. Because usually if you don't get drafted by round 5, 6 or 7, you want to be able to go to wherever team you want to go to.
Pick your spot.
You want to pick your spot because you can pick the best situation for you. He came into a great situation. When we come back, let's get into I want to talk a little bit more about this, though, because this is important to me, and I think people need to understand why this is not something that I'm, afraid of or I'm weary about. Because when you go to that locker room, you got to understand this is next man up. Anyway, stay tuned. Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Would you like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, the Midday Show. Neil Rule, Joik Bell, the legend, T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house as well. We got the usual suspects, too. Fish is here. Kennedy's here. Art is here as well, but we've been talking Detroit Lions. I did want to get into the it's like I said, it's training camp. You got to do the obligatory quarterback discussion because I have a different idea of how I would attack a top 5 quarterback list than how Joik would, probably than how Terry would as well. But I know, Joik, you wanted to wrap up a point about the whole DeAndre Swift situation because it is. I mean, I defer to you because you lived this. This was your life. So, I mean, wrap it up, man. What do you got?
And then, as a player, you never hope that your teammate will get hurt. Like, you don't want that to happen. You're cheering for your teammate, but understand that NFL injury rate is 100%. It's 100%, so it's for sure.
Right.
It's not a matter of if you get hurt, it's when you get hurt. And so when you look at in the history of players who have been able to kind of make a name for themselves off another player getting hurt. We have baseball players who became Hall of Famers because somebody got hurt, then they went out there on the field, took their opportunity, and that player never touched the field again. You look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady, when the player got hurt, he went out there on the field and never looked back. So you look at these opportunities, you have to take full advantage. And so it sucks he's hurt, but it's part of the game. Do I think he's going to bounce back and be okay? Yes, I think. I mean, it's Jagroin. He'll be okay. He'll be fine. But you want to take care of it now immediately so it's not nagging on during the season. And once you get on top of it, stay on top of it. You have to stay on top of these type of things, period. Because when you're not available, you're not going to be around long. And if you get that reputation of always being injury prone, it's only a matter of time
before you get that label going forward. I mean, Art,
that pencil.
Because if you're not a player, you're not going to crush a lot.
Well, he is not as Caucasian as what we thought. Here's my question, though: as an athlete, is it the coach's job to pull you out when you're injured, or is that the athlete's responsibility?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay,
right, it's a little bit of both. And so, if you look at Kevin Durant was like, this is an important game. I want to go out here. I want to play. He probably should have set out. But he probably, listen, I can run on it, I can push on it, and it probably came to a mutual agreement with the head coach, like, listen, I want to get out there and play. And at that particular time, as a player, you got to know when to pull yourself, all right? All right, now fast forward. Now, it should be a coach's job to pull you out where, I should have got pulled out after I had my Achilles surgery when I came back too early. I had to pull myself out because I was hurting myself and I was hurting my team. I couldn't perform the way I wanted to perform. So I set out for 3 or 4 weeks, and when I came back, I was still about 75-80%, but I was able to be productive, and my injury wasn't holding me back from performing at a high level. And I felt like that was happening to me early on in the season. And so you have to just know yourself as a player. You have to know yourself the coaches have to know their players as well, because you have some guys just stay out there and try to fight through it. And this is the mental game, and some stuff you're going to have to fight through, but some situation you have to sit down.
Welcome back to Big D Energy, our best of show here on Labor Day. One of the very best segments, I feel like, in all of talk radio and digital media. Ballin' with the Bell as he breaks down Amir Abdullah's first touchdown run.
All right, now y'all in control now.
You won't do it again on camera.
Nope.
We are now balling with Bell officially. Is that what we're doing?
Balling with Bell. That's where we are. Now, this is a game, I think this is week 1. We're playing in San Diego, first game of the season. Actually, my first game back, and I should have stayed on PUP, but I came back because I wanted to fight for my team. But on this particular play, we have 11 personnel in. We have 1 tight end and 1 running back. And this play was actually designed specifically for Amir. And let it go through one time. And this is just your typical outside zone play. You send Eric Ebron in motion. You can see there in man. Safety comes over with him. You want to stress his defense. The end did a great job with running the ball, well, taking that edge off, so it forced Amir to cut it up. But luckily for him, the offensive line did a great job with walling off everything, and he did a great job with pressing this hole and saying skinny off the block. So let's go through it one time. Play it through in slow motion for me. Just regular slow motion. There we go. We're gonna bring Eric Ebron across. You can tell that they're in man because the man goes with Eric Ebron as he goes across. All right, we see there in man. The O-line are going to make their points. There you go. Swanson does a great job with running over to help with that 3 technique. You have the left guard working up for that middle backer. Amir does a great job with sizing up the safety, getting square with him, stopping his feet, making a move close enough to him where he doesn't have time to recover. He scored a 20-plus yard touchdown untouched just by doing the fundamentals. All right, let's take it to the end zone angle. Hit play for me. And to put it in slow motion for me regular. Boom. All right, it's coming. It's coming. And so, it's not, she said it's not coming. All right, here we go. So if you look at this defense right now, boom, they're in the nickel defense. They have a 4-eye. They have a 3. They have a 3 technique. They have a wide 7. And if you look, stop it right here. Boom. Pause right here. If you look right here, the offensive line does a great job of walling off this backside. We don't have a blocker for this backside backer because we feel that the running back can outrun this guy right here. The front line does a great job with double teaming up to the second level. Left guard comes across for the middle linebacker. If you look at Eric Ebron on the edge, he's cutting off this edge right here. One thing he doesn't want to do, well, I suggest Ebron does, you should know, is he wants to get square on the inside number and not have him run up the field to cut the play off. But luckily, the backside of this play was so clean that Amir, instead of, and this is what I mean by saying skinny off of the block, even though this hole is this big, he can honestly run back here if he wanted to, but you don't want to do that. You want to say skinny off your blocks. So he's running right. So play this in super slow motion from here. Watch how he stays skinny off those blocks, and he gets upfield, and now he gets north and south. He stops his feet. He gets on his feet, makes a move so close that when it's time to recover, he doesn't have enough time to recover from the play. He runs 20-plus yards untouched for a Lions touchdown. And, you can't draw it up any better than this. You can't hope for it to be any better than this. If you look, go back to the end zone level, to the end zone camera. Play it for me in super slow motion. Actually, you can play in regular slow motion. If you look at this backer right here, he go me slow on the backside. But if you look, he over pursues, and now he can't get back. Another mistake. You already have enough guys on that side that can cover the holes, that can fill the gaps, but you just left that wide open. But anyway, another episode of Baller and Bell. Be back with me next week for another play breakdown. And I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, maybe we can break down Art's running next week.
We got to clap.
And guess what? You alluded to Joik Lions touchdowns. We're going to be seeing a lot of them this season.
That's right, baby. That's right.
A lot more of those happen in the season.
We're going to see a lot more running this year from the Lions than we've seen in the past. That's going to be our focal point this year, and that's good. But at the same time, we're going to have to make sure we're getting the receivers into the mix a little bit as well, because you don't want to become an offense that's one-sided, because it'll be easy to defend. Period.
Why do you think we're going to be running more? Because of the talent we have there, or
because
because
the talented
Goff's
receiver?
arm?
Yeah, the talented receiver.
I like what you're saying, Joy.
And you're going to see a lot more wins.
Hearing.
What?
That we're going to be running the ball.
Yeah, we're going to run the ball more because we won't be able to throw as efficient.
She's agreeing with you.
Yeah, and so
I know. He was
I don't know why Art.
I was like, what?
No, because Art is saying like that's a good thing. It's a good thing that we're running.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we need to be a balanced offense so we can throw it well as well.
Well, because I mean, fundamentals of football. If you can't score a touchdown if you're not running. You know?
Please teach me more about football, Art.
Yeah. You know?
I finally understand the game now.
Yeah.
I can do all these ball and bills and Art won't learn a thing.
I learned that you're a great class presentation guy. You know?
Joik, he's keeping it all in his brain.
eyes are
He doesn't just like the defense doesn't want you to know
That's right.
how you're going to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Art doesn't want you to know all his strategies.
Right.
So,
So
Joy,
he's keeping it in his head so that you don't know what his strategies are. But he knows a lot more sports than you think.
That's right.
let me learn from you really fast, because one thing about that play that startles me a little bit, if the Dark Angels want me,
Is that running back coming at that safety?
yeah, like
So-
he looked like his ankles were broken. I would be so embarrassed. He
right,
fell
so-
down after. How do I avoid that?
So how you avoid that? You attack the running back you pick a side. So for instance, when we coming at a linebacker, say right down the middle, we won't attack them right down their center of gravity because or down their chest line, because that's where their strength is, right? Because usually a linebacker is going to be bigger. Usually they're stronger. There's some running backs, not all. And what you want to
Was
do?
that shade at someone?
Huh? No, just just wishful thinking. So
Okay.
what we do when we go down the middle, we won't never attack a linebacker right down the middle unless we have a vendetta, and it's like some talking or some hacking that's been going on before the game or during the game, and then it's just like you're gonna have to see me, right? But for the most part, you're gonna pick a side. I'm gonna attack your left shoulder. I'm gonna attack your right shoulder. That way, all your strength, I'm putting all my strength on one side of your body.
Okay.
And so that's why you see a lot of running backs who run through tackles, because they're attacking either a side. And that's why you see kind of linebacker kind of slide off the side of a running back. Because if you go straight down the center, like right down the center, he's going to fall backwards if you run through him. And, I have a couple of those.
Okay.
I'll get them to you, Art.
You have a comment, though, that you need to address from there might be a little bit of podcast beef, unless I'm reading this wrong.
What?
Tennessee, Baltimore, Detroit, leading the league in rushing. These people on camera, goofy AF. Joik, response?
Goof. That's his opinion.
Okay.
Right, they are. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was just...
They have a great run game.
I know, but I just read it, he said these people on camera are goofy AF. I just, want to make sure that we're not getting attacked here on the Woodward Sports Networks Incorporated.
No, they
Let
have
them
the best.
attack.
They have the best running back in the game.
Okay, I'm just saying, I got your back all the time.
I've done a balling with Bell with Derrick Henry on the show.
Yeah.
Understand? We understand that. We know.
That's right.
So,
Another question, what was Fish doing on camera? And he's still, you all right, Fish?
hey, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Okay, so that safety messed up because he stopped his feet and he was centered.
So, I mean, as a safety, you're going to come down, you're going to attack a side, and you never want to run back to square you up coming at you full speed, because if you saw Amir, he did everything that we trained. You attack, you attack the defender's feet, you stop their feet, you get close enough to make a move on them, and when you get, like, not too close, but close enough where you can make a move without him touching you, he won't have time to recover. And so that was a simple, in and out, which, you learn that in Pee Wee League. But these are the fundamentals that you can still use in the NFL. And he perfected the fundamentals.
Gotcha.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great job.
Don't let me go out there and look stupid. That's all I'm saying.
No, you won't look stupid.
Coach Joy.
Welcome back to Big D Energy here on Woodward Sports Network. Our best of Labor Day show. Joik Bell and Terry Foster debate the NFL's COVID policies.
Commercials.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm telling Art to keep his mic off during the commercial. He's trying to turn his mic on during the commercial to talk to me. That's crazy.
That wasn't on me.
Hold on. So Terry.
Yes, sir.
Wait, was my mic on during the commercials?
Yes, it was.
No, his mic was not on at
Oh, it
all.
wasn't. I can
was
hear him
not.
clear as day in here.
Well, that's probably because you have great ears. So,
I've been told that. Thank you.
Oh my God, what is happening?
All right, so we kind of talked about players getting vaccinated, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're getting fined for, what's the number? Is it basically $15,000?
$14,956. Stupid.
They getting taxed $15,000. That is I'm not gonna say it's ridiculous because it's their business, right? So they can do what they want to, and we're But the thing is, say the players don't get vaccinated, right? Are they really going to? I mean, honestly, $15,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But for a player who's he's steadfast on I'm not getting it. And they can talk. I mean, just take care of yourself. Be willing to be able to go in there and because right now the thing is, people who don't want to get the vaccination, that's your choice. People who want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. It's not our business what you want to do. Just if you don't get vaccinated, just make sure you're taking all the precautions to protect yourself and the people around you. All right, and so
But if you don't take the vaccination in this team sport, is it being selfish?
No, it's not being selfish.
Why not?
Why is it not? Why is it being selfish? That's
because in sports they always about the team.
And so, do they got to go? Do
team.
they have to go get every vaccination then? Do they have to go get every vaccination?
I think you should.
I mean, listen. I'm all for people making their own decisions, but athletes, just like soldiers, get lit up with vaccinations. It happens. Here's the question.
No, they don't. Don't say that.
No?
No, you're speaking for
when
what
you
don't
get
know.
physicals and everything, and
No,
if
you
you
don't
missed
have
on a shot,
no, you don't.
Okay.
It's your option.
Okay, let me ask you
I've
this.
done it. I've got the flu shot one time when I played, and that was it.
Okay, let me ask you a question, though, because the topic is, if someone like Tom Brady, and I've got a graphic here from a quote that said, Brady won't even use sunscreen. He doesn't want any chemicals touching his body directly or indirectly, inside or outside, so he's not going to want the vaccine, and Brady is going to think he's impervious to COVID. That comes from Chris Simmons. So my question is this. If Tom Brady doesn't take the vaccine, are they going to treat all players the same?
Yeah, it's just $15,000.
No, you forfeit a game.
Okay.
Well, if they can't reschedule it.
Right.
No, you forfeit a game and you don't get paid that week.
Right.
Correct.
That's more than the $15,000.
And if someone in your camp gets COVID on your team, and it's because of an unvaccinated player, they forfeit that game.
All right. So what happens to somebody who's vaccinated catches it and then gives it to a player who's not vaccinated? Is that still his fault? And that's where it gets tricky. And that's where it gets tricky.
Unless they can trace it to the vaccinated player.
These are going to be the loopholes. There's loopholes in everything. There's no, it's always gray. It's never going to be black and white. It's never going to be black and white. It's always going to be something in there that make a player or somebody in the front office say, oh, well, Tom Brady caught it, but someone on the team had already contracted it and then gave it to him. And so, they're not going to treat everyone equally. It's just what it is. That's just not what this league is. They're not going to treat a. Who can I say?
Matthew Stafford.
No. We'll say Marshawn. Say Marshawn Lynch when he played. Versus a guy I played with in New Orleans who was a third stringer when everyone got injured named Chris Taylor. Now, you think they're going to treat Chris Taylor the same way they treat Marshawn Lynch? No, it's not going to happen. Why? Because Marshawn Lynch is a big money maker in this league. He brings in a lot of revenue. A lot of people want to see him play. A lot of people want to see Tom Brady play. Nobody knows looking for, a Chris Taylor or I would say Mike Bill. They're not going to be treated the same. It's just what it is in this league. Whoever the people like, whoever's bringing the most revenue, that's who they're going to give this special treatment to, and who work at the practice facility.
Oh, they don't give a shit about them. They're forcing them to get it. Believe me.
Yeah, I think.
Believe me. Corey was talking about how to do interviews that you have to get the vaccine. And I respect him for putting what his political thoughts may be on it and just going and getting it. But what I'm saying is this hierarchy of, oh, you're a very important person. You can do what you want. And, oh, you're a janitor. Fuck, you get the vaccine. That's where I have a problem with.
The staff, the coaches, I know, have to get vaccinated.
That's
but
the
I
way
don't
life
agree
works.
with that. Because listen.
But what's the difference between that, right? And what I said earlier, I said the exact same thing, but you made I said between, say, a Chris Taylor and then a Marshawn Lynch.
I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't say anything.
I was letting you two go.
Yeah.
My thing is this.
But it's the same thing, though. But it's the same thing.
But at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, I had COVID. My whole family got COVID. It was terrible. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you. But it should be my human right to decide what I want to put in my body. I'm sorry. But my body, my choice argument.
Art, that's what we're saying here. We're not saying getting the vaccination or not getting the vaccination is wrong. That's what we're saying. It's your right. It's your decision. And you do what's best for you and your family.
And there are consequences that come with that decision that I'm willing to deal with. But it seems like on a big picture level, if you're Tom Brady, you get a pass. And I don't like that. I think it's bullshit.
I'm not saying you get a pass. They're not saying you get a pass.
Not yet.
No, not yet. They're never going to say that.
I just put up a graphic saying that he doesn't like sunscreen. Believe me, if he says I'm not getting the vaccine,
then he's not going to get the vaccine.
Okay.
But the thing is, just because he doesn't get the vaccine doesn't mean he's going to get penalized. The thing is, he's just going to have to follow the same protocol he had to do last year.
Isn't there a $15,000 fine if you don't get the vaccine?
No, it's only if the game gets forfeited.
If you forfeit a game.
Okay, yeah, I got you. But if his non-vaccination causes players to test positive, he should be penalized.
But that's only if he catches it. But that's what I'm saying. He didn't get vaccinated last year.
Yeah.
And he didn't catch anything.
Well, nobody did.
Tom Brady could get COVID and we never know about it.
Right.
That is also correct.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the best of Big D Energy here on Labor Day on the Woodward Sports Network. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Until then, my name is Neil Rule. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.